A little bit of an interesting setup here, but I'm going to try to give you guys the best that I can. At my apartment, I do like to do a little bit of mobilizing, so I want to share that with some of you guys. Hopefully you guys can adapt this to your home setup. Now, I wrote a couple things up on the board. No, I don't typically use a whiteboard when I'm stretching. It's just in my brain, but to share with you guys, a couple things I like to think about organization-wise. I like to think from the ground up, so I'm working from my feet all the way up to my wrists, elbows, stuff like that when I'm trying to choose stretches. Second thing is from middle out, so core out to my wrists, fingers, stuff like that when I'm doing my full stretching routine. This is just a brief 3 exercises at each kind of main area of the body that I try to hit. So we'll talk about these and hopefully this helps. Tools, couple important things. My floor in my apartment is not super comfortable to stretch on, so I went out and bought a mat. You can get really cheap, simple yoga mats, whatever, or if you have carpet, that works great. Second tool, lacrosse ball. This is something I use quite a bit for small tissue treatment, whether that's my upper back, my traps, shoulders, or I use it for my feet. For those of us who are runners, this is super helpful at opening up the small muscles on the bottom side of our feet to kind of prevent some calf, shin splint issues. And then lastly, my favorite tool, my foam roller. I have a compressible one just to save a little bit on space. I like to hit hamstrings, low back, mid back, quads, anywhere where I need that, or calves. It's a little bit better for bigger areas. I won't go through the whole foam rolling routine because I think that's pretty boring and you guys don't want to watch that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, on to our first sequence of stretches. I like to start upper back shoulders. So first one, we have our cat-cow, that's on all fours. Make sure that we don't dump our hips, so our pelvis, it's all upper back. So I want to press to the floor, ground your upper back, and back in. I would do probably 10 to 15 of these. What it shouldn't look like is I go down, my hips go up, and then my hips dump like this. That's not what we want. It's the upper back stretch. After that, I do my T-spine rotation. So I go chicken wing right behind the ear, elbow down, follow my elbow with my eyes. I would do probably 10 to 15 each side there. Got a nice little crack there. That's what I'm looking for. T-spine is just thoracic spine, so that's like your upper portion of your spine, your upper back. Sometimes gets really tight for those of us who are overhead athletes. Baseball is an example of something like that. So that's why I've worked in a lot of T-spine stuff there. Down dog, so I'd be here, top of the push-up. And I just want to push my head through, back to the top of the push-up. Again, 10 to 15 reps on that. I'm also getting some backside work, which is why I like to transition to that next. Inchworm with toe touch. So from here, I would stand nice and tall. If I go out of screen, don't worry about it. All the way down, walk my hands out. Inchworm, toe touch, and then I walk my hands back in. I like to try to get my feet flat on the floor before I walk my hands back out. Toe touch, just like that. Should feel hamstrings, low back on that. Roll over to V-sit. Make a little bit of space for myself here. Legs are straight, tuck the knees in, reach into the V as such. Okay, and then lastly, prone scorpion. That's on your belly. Takes up a little bit of space. Opposite foot, opposite hand. I'm not going to go that way because I'll hit the board, but probably 20 reps on that. Should feel good, a little bit of rotation work there. For hips, lizard pose, pigeon pose, and then 90-90s. Those are my 3 go-tos. Lizard pose, long lunge position, so I'm just right here. Hand is inside the knee, press that knee out. I would spend probably 30 to 45 seconds on one side, 30 to 45 seconds on the other. Next one, pigeon pose. cross the foot under, and then try to get your forearms to the floor as such. And I would hold 30 to 45 seconds here. And then lastly, 90-90s. 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle here. Knees are flat on the floor and my torso is upright. Those are my 3 hip stretches. And then lastly, we'll get into some rotation work. So I'll go back to the lizard. I'll show that on this side, probably a little bit easier to see. This hand is on the ground. I'm gonna reach the foot that is on the ground as such. And I'm gonna rotate through like this for 10 to 15 reps. Reverse lunge with a big twist for 10 to 20 reps. And then lastly, pretzel. So let's just lie down on your back. I'm sure it has a much more technical term, but this will do the pretzel. I start here, tuck my legs in, drop them to the side. Tuck to the side. Try and keep my shoulders on the floor. As you do a little bit more and more mobility, you'll start to find certain exercises that you like. Add those in as you see fit.